Everyone, my name is Alejandra. On behalf of Pre-Health Dreamers, I'm very excited to talk about the medical school timeline for this year, 2023 cycle. So by this time, if you're applying, you should have all your prerequisites done. Maybe you've already taken the MCAT. There's still time to take it if you haven't. And then I'm also going to be talking about a new requirement for some schools. The situational assessment test previously, it was the AMC SJT test. Now it's called Preview. There's also the Casper exam. So you just check with your schools to see if that's something that's required. So the medical school application cycle, it's very long. It takes the whole year for some. This is a screenshot that I took from Kaplan. And so in purple, you'll see the ideal times to take care of these requirements. In gray, those are when mostly everybody applies. And if you decide that the best time for you to apply is during one of these great times, do not worry. Plenty of people have gotten in at the time, so you just have to do what's best for you, given everything that's going on. Some of the sections for the primary application are listed here. You'll have to list your background, such as your name, birthday, the schools you've attended, citizenship, ethnicity, race. So under citizenship, make sure that you fill it out correctly. If you have any questions, you can reach out directly to the AMC or to us, depending on whether you have DACA or don't have DACA, or if you have TPS. You'll want to be very careful about how you fill that information. You'll also have a space to put in all of your coursework. It's really great if you can order official transcripts so that you're typing the information exactly as is. Some schools, they have a letter grade, others have a grade with a number, and so you'll just want to put it exactly as it is in your official transcript. Also, if you're ready to apply, you can start filling this out. You'll have an assigned transcript ID, which you can use so that when you request your official transcripts, you'll use your AMC ID and that transcript ID to send the official transcript directly to the AMC. In terms of works and activities, that takes a significant amount of time. I know a lot of us spend a long time with our personal statement and don't really hear a lot about the works and activities sections, but this is also pretty time intensive. There's up to 15 experiences that you can put under leadership, clinical or non-clinical volunteerism, any awards, any shadowing that you've done in there, and you'll have space to write for 3 meaningful experiences, about 1,350 characters, and for the rest it's about 700 characters. So you have to be very concise. And then that other section is letters of evaluation. You'll want to start asking your letter writers right now for a letter, and then give them some time to ask, to make sure that they submit everything on time. Maybe give them some flexibility, like 1 or 2 months, and maybe an earlier deadline by 1 week, just in case anything happens. And then in order to submit the application, your primary application, you'll want to put at least 1 medical school down. You can always add more medical schools later. There's a lot of pressure and to decide which are the right medical school to apply to, especially if you're undocumented, because there might not be a lot of financial aid available. So you'll want to reach out to these medical schools and get any of your questions answered. And then at the very end, you'll also have the opportunity to add your personal statement. And any sort of standardized testing that you've done. For example, if you've retaken the MCAT, all of it will show in the application. If you're still waiting for your MCAT score, you can still submit your primary application, and then I'm not sure, but you'll have to verify that the new MCAT score is up by the time that the primary application gets transmitted or sent to the medical schools. So right here, again, is the timeline. With the primary applications, you'll have your transcripts verified. So that process, very early in the cycle, right, like in June, July, it might be shorter wait times than in the peak session. For example, July, August, September, there's going to be a lot of people applying during those times. And so wait time for getting your grades verified might take 6 or more weeks. And then once that is complete, the primary application will be transmitted to medical schools as early as June 6th. And so in that time that you're waiting for your primary application to get verified, you'll maybe want to get a head start by looking at some of the secondary applications that have been posted online. Some of the places that you can look is Student Doctor Network or Reddit. A lot of folks who have received their secondary applications invitations can sometimes upload the current year, but you can also look at previous years. They typically don't change a lot between one year and the next. And if you don't feel comfortable with that, you can always pre-write some of the basic questions that they might ask is, why this specific school? Tell us about a challenge, how you handled it, how you overcame it, and something unique about yourself. And then you can always tailor it specifically to the school. And so you can start to save some time during that period while you're waiting for your primary application to get verified to start writing about the secondary applications. And then during this whole time, you'll want to prepare for interviews. Reach out to your local college or university through the career center to see if they can do mock interviews with you. Have your boss practice interviews with you or your friends. There's a lot of medical school questions and interview questions online which you can use to prep. And you definitely don't want to sound rehearsed like you're reading out of a paper, but you want to at least have bullet points and specific examples with stories so that you can demonstrate who you are. It doesn't have to be something that's rehearsed and that doesn't sound genuine because, these admissions committees, interviews, they're experts. They will see right through it. So you just really want to be yourself. You're the expert. Make sure that you read your primary application and secondary application, that you know it exactly what you wrote, and anything you put there is up for grabs during the interview. After that, it'll just be a matter of waiting. And some students might not find out until April when, whether they got in. And that's usually when everybody has to narrow down their medical school to one choice. So it can really be a long process. If anything, just enjoy this year. After you get in, it'll be a lot of work, but make time to really enjoy this whole 2023 application cycle. And let us know if Pre-Health Dreamers can help you in any way, whether it's reviewing primary applications or secondary applications or practicing interviews or how to talk about your story or your narrative. So let us know how we can help. The AMC Preview Professional Readiness Exam is something that's a little bit new. It is a new name. A lot of schools have, had a lot of meetings about whether they want to make this a requirement. Some of them, a handful have made this a requirement. Others are still kind of processing how they're going to integrate it into their admissions processes. So they haven't made it a requirement, but they have made it available if students want to take it to be an additional data point for them to consider during your application. And some of the things that they assess are resilience, service orientation, ethics, cultural competence, and teamwork. This is a pre-professionalism exam, and based on the research, they're thinking that this can be used to predict how students will do with their coursework, with their performance, and their professionalism around different behavioral and ethical dilemmas. So when you're ready to sign up for this exam, something to expect is that there will be a proctor, live proctor, but you can do it from the comfort of your home and at the library. It's not an exam that you would have to travel anywhere with a large group of people to take. This is something that you can take at home. So I'll post some links of different material that you can use to kind of prepare for it. It's a lot going to be about ethical dilemmas of what would you do in this situation, how would you handle it, who would be the people that you reach out to, would you ask for help, and so a lot of us I think already kind of have that lived experience or that work experience, but this is something that don't feel overwhelmed. It's another requirement for some schools. It's it's recommended for others. So just look into your specific schools and to the list that you want to apply to, and see if they are requiring either the preview exam or the Casper exam, which is another situational readiness exam. And let us know how we can help you again. Thanks so much.